Storm, earth, and fire, heed my call.
What's up everyone, and welcome to a new Mythic Plus commentary. I know it's been a couple of weeks since I uploaded a video. That's basically because pre 9.1 there wasn't really any content to make videos on. Post 9.1 however, there was so much content that I was basically just spam streaming all the time. Which, by the way, if you haven't checked my stream already, twitch.tv/waveswow, check it out if you're interested. And yeah, that's why I basically didn't have that much time to upload any videos or like record and edit the videos. So I'm trying to get more back into the habit of like editing more, uploading more for you guys. So that's what we're doing. I got a key for you today. Sanguine Depth 17. New Mythic Plus season is out, new PvP season is out, everything. It's a lot of fun. The new affix is fun. I did play this key with my pre-made group with some friends, with Danis, Nami, Nanya, Sheik, and myself. Best 5 men in the world, you know how it is. And yeah, it was a lot of fun. We're gonna jump right into it. I did play Hailstorm in this key. By the way, I hope I don't forget to say anything, because I just, as you guys know me, I just tried to get back into recording for YouTube again, recorded a 37-minute Mythic Plus commentary. The mic was muted, nice, right? Yeah, so now my mic is working, now we're actually recording this video. I hope I don't forget to say something, because I already said it like a couple of minutes ago. But yeah. We're gonna jump right into the key. My item level is like 233 or some shit, I don't know. Somewhere around there. And I played Badge and the Soul Render Trinket, by the way. So yeah, also I'm Night Fae, if you haven't noticed that. I play Kurain with First Strike, Double Potency, we run Unruly Winds, and Chill to the Core. Chill to the Core because we're playing Hailstorm instead of Ally Assault. We're gonna miss some Maelstrom weapon stacks. So with Chill to the Core we're gonna get some back from those Frost Shocks, which is awesome. And yeah, we're just gonna start the key here. 1 second before the key starts, obviously we use Wolves to get some Maelstrom weapon stacks, as we always do as an Enhanced Shaman. And then you can already see down here, I get some Maelstrom weapon stacks ready for the first pack. First hallway in Sanguine Depths, pretty scary actually. We do a double pull here as well, maybe even triple, I'm not sure. Make sure to focus the Inspired, guys. Make sure to not pull aggro, dodge all the traps, dodge all the frontals. Yeah, we even go triple here, so this is a very scary pack, especially with Grievous Inspired. Definitely a lot of pressure on the whole group, not only the healer, but especially the healer. So yeah, you have to dodge the traps that you can see on the ground here. You have to dodge the frontals. So yeah, we're just doing a lot of damage here. I'm pulling a lot of damage. Nanya's pulling a lot of damage. Sheik is gonna pull a lot of damage once his Frenzy stacks up. And as you can see, we're just completely destroying the triple pack. With our group setup, we're playing Necro Frost Decay, Night Fae, Enhancement Shaman, and Venthir Boomkin. Obviously the Boomkin, just to explain that, you're gonna see him rip a lot of damage on some packs when he has Frenzy, just as you can see right now with 36k DPS. On some packs he's gonna be below the tank even, that's just how Venthir Druid works. But that's perfectly fine. You will get flamed in pack groups sometimes. If you do low damage on packs, because a lot of people don't understand like what it needs for a good group composition, and that overall damage isn't like the most important thing, you know. Like if you have members in the group that work together and, you know, equalize basically the strengths and the weaknesses of the specs and work together as a group, then overall damage doesn't really matter. So I'm just happy that I'm playing with a pre-made and that we all understand the game. We're all pretty good at the game and we know how it works. So no stress about that. If you are playing Paki still, if you play Mythic Plus, I would definitely recommend maybe try to play with some friends, maybe some guildmates. Maybe you can make friends with some people from LFG Tool and play with them more consistently. Because playing with voice and playing with friends makes Mythic Plus way more fun. We also got a new affix, by the way, Tormented, where we have like 4 lieutenants that you want to kill and then you get anima powers. There are some really strong ones, some even that you can switch the anima powers depending on what spec you play. For example, I play Hailstorm in this key, right? So I'm missing a little bit of single target because I'm not playing Ally Assault, which is why I'm gonna take the Necrotic one, the Necrotic anima power, which gives me a lot more single target damage to basically balance out that I'm not playing Ally Assault but rather playing Hailstorm. Right here, a little trick. We have to wait a little bit for the patrol to move, but you can pull lieutenants through enemies. That doesn't matter, they won't pull them, right? As long as you can pull the lieutenant, you can see he walks right through the tick and the tick isn't adding, right? So that's something that you can do. Also, what I noticed playing Hailstorm, as a little bit more of insight into the enhanced gameplay, if you play Hailstorm and Doomwinds, in my opinion, you have the perfect balance. I for the longest time wasn't a big fan of playing Hailstorm, right? But now that I tested it, it works out so well. Like, during Doomwinds, you definitely, even though you play Hailstorm, you don't want to use Frost Shock as often. You want to prioritize Crash, you want to prioritize Storm Strike, and you want to prioritize Lava Lash in most cases, right? To get the most out of those heavy Wind Fury procs that you can get during the Doomwinds window. And then outside of the Doomwinds window, you focus more on Hailstorm to get like that consistent AoE pressure out, right? To keep your damage high until the next Doomwinds window. That's basically how I approached it and how I played it. And it worked out really well, which you will see in this key. And yeah, then also Doomwinds, still the best legendary for Mythic Plus, by far. Like, that much damage on a 1 minute cooldown, it's just insane. It's straight up just insane. So here we have the last pack before the boss, and my Doomwind's gonna be ready in 5 seconds. I'm definitely gonna hold Wolves and Ascendance for the boss, obviously, but I will use another Doomwinds here because I know that this pack is gonna live for a long time. It's fortified, there's an Inspiring Mob in there, it's a Brood. So they will be alive for a long time, so I do use another Doomwinds here. You can see Insta Crash, because Crash is really, really strong. You can weave in a Frost Shock, because even though after you use Crash, you use a Chain Lightning to reset the cooldown of Crash, it won't be instantly ready again. You will have one dead global that you can use, so might as well just use it for a Frost Shock there, or for a Storm Strike if it's ready, and then use the next Crash Lightning basically. So since that one tick was not interruptible, you can see one is really huge. We have to Spirit Link this, because when it's gonna die, it's gonna explode, and you can see how much damage we take. If we didn't Spirit Link this, we would have probably died. So very good call there, very good Spirit Link by Nami. And yeah, we survived it, and you can see the damage output. Look at our tank doing 10k DPS. Like, the damage output that we have in this group is actually insane. So definitely props to my group for being good players. And now we approach the first boss. We have Wolves, and we're gonna use it. Bloodlust, Wolves, Ascendance, 1 Wind Strike, Wind Fury Totem, spamming Wind Strikes. Perfect opener, as always. We know how to play it. It's always the same opener. Again, single target damage not gonna be as high because I'm missing that increased Storm Strike damage from Ally Assault because I'm playing Hailstorm. Also, if you play Hailstorm, Flame Shock works a little bit differently. Obviously, you won't use it the way that you would use it if you played Ally Assault, right? Because a Hailstorm buffed Frost Shock does more damage than a Flame Shock. So, as long as you have enough Maelstrom weapon stacks to buff your Frost Shock with Lightning Bolt, you will want to Lightning Bolt into a buffed Frost Shock instead of Flame Shocking, right? There are, however, cases where you want to Flame Shock. If Storm Strike, Crash and Lava Lash are on cooldown, and you don't have 5 stacks for an instant cast Lightning Bolt to buff your Frost Shock, then you want to Flame Shock, right? Like, it's not worth hard casting a Lightning Bolt just to get a Hailstorm buff to use a Frost Shock. Then you want to Flame Shock. So there are places that you want to Flame Shock. They are just more rare than they would normally be if you played Ally Assault over Hailstorm, which is obviously not what I'm doing here. So the boss already down to like 14%. Again, it's fortified. Bosses don't have that much HP, so it's gonna be fine. We're just gonna try to finish him off here. The healing pretty intense, don't get me wrong. Grievous, fortified on high keys, pretty intense for the healing, which as an enhance, obviously, you want to help out your healer. I mean, we trust Nami, right? Nami's a very good healer, so I don't have to help that much. But also like Sheik and me both, we have to keep it in mind. Off healing, very strong, especially in Grievous weeks. Pretty much always just be aware of your utility, keep that in mind, and try to make the most out of it. We're gonna do a pretty big pull here. There are 2 inspired mobs in here. We're gonna in-cap 1, and then we're gonna do a triple pull all of it out of the room outside here. I actually didn't know that we would pull them all the way outside here, which is why I ran in. And I placed a cap stun there actually, which was kind of a waste, but that's just my bad. So now we go outside, we group all of them up, and we just big blast them. Wolves, Doomwinds. You can see I don't even have Ascendance, right? But see how much damage I can do with only Wolves and Doomwinds. Like, it's actually just insane. And then we have the Frost DK damage as well. You can see Sheik is doing less damage than the tank, and that's perfectly fine because Sheik has Frenzy. And during Frenzy, Sheik will do so much damage that it will just carry his damage overall, right? And so we can just balance it. Whenever Sheik doesn't have damage, Nanya and me are just destroying the packs. If we don't have damage, or if Sheik has damage, then we can hold back on our stuff and Sheik just destroys the stuff. That's basically how we work around the cooldowns, right? So now we have an Oppressor and a Sentinel. We just 2-target cleave them down. I use Transfusion here, which, by the way, Transfusion's still a little bit weird. I have been Night Fae for like 2 months at this point, I think. I still miss Chain Harvest. What can I say? Chain Harvest is still the best spell in the game, in my opinion. It's so strong. Fey Transfusion feels really weird in comparison. Don't get me wrong, Night Fae is very strong. Wild Hunt Tactics, First Strike, pretty much a lot of shit that Night Fae has is very, very strong. I just don't like how Fey Transfusion plays. It feels very weak on multiple targets. I mostly use it on single target or when it's like 2 targets. The healing is weird, it's only melee range, it's only 4 targets. It's just straight up worse than Chain Harvest in my opinion. And I actually miss having Chain Harvest. But we're gonna make the most out of it. By the way, with Doom Winds, in comparison to last season on Prides during the first season, which that was the seasonal affix, right? The Prideful thingies. I never used Doom Winds on Prides because you got that huge buff once the Pride died. And I wanted to have that during Doom Winds. On Lieutenants, however, first of all, they take a little bit longer than Prides in my opinion. Second of all, you also have to pick the Anima power afterwards, which takes some time. So if you use Doom Winds on those, I feel like you will always have Doom Winds up for the next pack after them, right? Especially since now we pulled a bat on top of it because we needed some trash count. So yeah, you always Doom Winds those. At least I always Doom Winds them. These roots, by the way, from this one you can break with your sprint, as you can break all roots with your sprint, which is also going to be important on the Overseers that we will fight in the hallway in just a second here. So keep that in mind, that you have that utility. We take the Anima power, and we're taking the Leech one. As I said, I take, most of the time I take Necrotic to get more single target damage, especially when I'm playing Hailstorm to kind of, you know, equalize that a little bit, so I have some more single target damage as well. I take Leech. I take the one that if you interrupt someone, you deal 10% more damage to them. And I take Champion's Brand. Since with this setup that I'm playing right now, I'm playing a lot of crit, which you benefit even more than from Champion's Brand. Actually, I blinked this binding, by the way. You can sprint it, but my sprint is on cooldown. So yeah, I play a lot of crit. You can play a lot more Mastery with this build as well when you play Hailstorm. But I just wasn't prepared for it. I basically just YOLO'd it and just said, oh, I'm gonna play Hailstorm and I'm gonna put in the chill to the core and I'm just gonna see how it works basically. So my setup wasn't like optimal for playing this build. You can play a lot more Mastery because obviously Mastery buffs your nature, fire and frost damage, and frost shock, pretty obvious, is frost damage. So Mastery definitely beneficial for that. But yeah, then you can also, like, if you're not worried about single target at all, if you have like a very strong single target DPS in your group and you don't need it, 1 second by the way, broke the chains with my sprint. If you don't need the single target damage, then you can also go double Champion's Brand with like a lot of Mastery. Like if Mastery is higher than your crit and you go double Champion's Brand, you get so much Mastery out of it, which will just boost your frost shock damage into oblivion basically. So keep that in mind. That's also like one thing that you can do. But you can see, by the way, down here, this is the necrotic buff. Now you can't see it because I switched target. But basically you can see it as a debuff stacking up to 10. And on bosses, obviously, that will always stack up. Now we pulled a big pack onto that pack that wasn't dead to get them into the lantern. So that is a quite scary pack here. We linked that. We still have Grievous. So definitely a scary pack. I AoE stun that. We double AoE stun that actually, because the Dark Bolts actually do so much damage on the group. But we get it down. Sheik just going ham on this pack. Very nice. But yeah, we get it done. And now we don't invest this. We go for the Inspired pack here on the Oppressor. We also pull the mini boss and all the smallies outside, which we can big blast at with cooldowns. I use Ascendance here. Wolf's Ascendance and Doom Winds, by the way. 33k DPS. Enhancement, it's just insane. Enhancement is so good right now, I'm telling you guys. I actually blinked this chain because I didn't have my sprint. We dodged that slash and then we just finish off the pack here. Yeah, Enhancement very strong right now. As I said, it was really strong in the first season as well. I feel like now a lot more people will play Enhancement just because they played in the Race to World first. which, by the way, I told you guys at the end of the last raid tier. I told you guys, as soon as Arms Warriors scale a little bit better with stats, like in the next seasons, once we have higher item level, and guilds will play more Arms Warriors, we will 100% see Enhanced Shamans in the raids. And you see how it went, right? We do see Enhanced Shamans right now in the race to World First. And I feel like a lot more people will try Enhance, which is nice. I'm not really saying that this is the correct reason why you should start playing Enhance, but maybe it will lead to the right reason to stay Enhance for a lot of people. Because right now, like no joke, watching this spec, watching this key right now, makes me want to hit end record. Shit, why did my cam get blurry? How long have I been blurry for? I hope I wasn't blurry for that long, okay? I'm sorry. If I was blurry for a while, I'm sorry. Yeah, basically this watching this right now makes me want to hit end record, log on to WoW and play some keys. Because Enhance is that fun. And I'm not even kidding. I swear I'm not even kidding. It's so much fun at the moment. Especially, it's weird that it's me saying that, because if you've watched my streams, or if you watched like some of the older like Mythic Plus commentaries, you know that I didn't like Hailstorm for the longest time. I didn't play it. I didn't like playing it. I didn't want to play it, right? But since I started playing it, I don't know, it's just so much fun. Like, what can I say? I just want to play keys because it's so much fun. And yeah, I just enjoy it so much. So, yeah. And also you could see, next Lieutenant, by the way, I didn't mention it. Oh, we got a Champion's Brand here, so now we have even more crit. You could see I used Doom Winds. And by killing it and then picking the Anima Power, it was enough time to have Doom Winds back up again for this pack, basically. So the timing works out really well. Doom Winds just... it's like this. Doom Winds, no joke, best legendary. If you're new to Enhance and you don't know what legendary to craft, the first one that you always want to craft, Doom Winds. Yes, there's another one that we want for the raid. Even the Night Fae one could be pretty strong now that they buffed it. But for an overall legendary, if you want to craft your first one, Doom Winds. It's always Doom Winds. Because it's just so insane, and it just gives us a little bit of control when it comes to damage. Because if you don't know Enhance that well, it's an RNG spec. It's basically, Enhance is basically this. It's RNG on top of RNG on top of RNG. And there are some builds that makes it even worse. Like if you play Wolfbones and Raid with Hot Hands, that's like big RNG on top of RNG on top of RNG on top of RNG, right? That's not the case with Doom Winds. Doom Winds just takes us out of that RNG. And yes, there are some factors, like during the Doom Winds window, you're still depending on procs. That's still a case, and that will never change. But the Doom Winds gives us that control, right, over our burst. On a 60-second cooldown, we know we will have burst. And especially on AoE, you will always have procs anyways. In the raid, you can fish for procs, right? Like, you can play around it. It's not like you're just not gonna have procs, right? You can work around it. But it just gives us something to press like every 60 seconds, and it's gonna be insane damage, basically. So it's a very fun legendary, and it works really well. And as I said earlier in this video, it works really well with Hailstorm. You get Doom Winds window burst 12 seconds, and then you got 48 seconds of just basically cleaving with Hailstorm and keeping up the damage. And you can see, like, throughout this dungeon, you can see in the damage meter, like, how consistently high my damage was, right? So yeah, that is pretty insane, and I'm very happy. I'm looking forward to playing more keys, honestly. I want to play more keys, I want to record more keys, commentate over more keys, and upload them. I do have an 18 Halls of Atonement recorded that I'm probably gonna do like a commentary on either tonight or tomorrow for you guys, and upload that as well, because that was a very, very interesting key. I'm very happy to show you guys that. And I hope you guys are down for that. If you want to see me play the keys live, by the way, sometimes pre-made. I do also pack a lot of keys. I also raid a lot on my stream. Just, again, selling out for myself. Check out twitch.tv/waveswow if you want to see the stuff happen live. Sometimes I even stream PvP, but not that often. It's mostly gonna be Mythic Plus and raids. But yeah, maybe it's something for you. Maybe you don't only want to watch the videos. Maybe you have some questions for me, which obviously you can use the comment section and ask me the stuff there. I will answer the questions in the comments as well. But if you want to have like a direct conversation with me, check out my stream. And yeah, I would be happy about that. But yeah, so I definitely want to get into recording more Mythic Plus keys for you guys again. And yeah, if you're interested, leave a comment and give me some feedback. Tell me if you actually like the commentary videos. But back to the key, so that I'm not only talking about off-topic stuff, but actually about the key that we're playing right now. We got 23 minutes left, and we're already almost at the second boss. This is like, Sanguine Depths is, it's very, very nice when it comes to the timer when you play the key clean, right? And we already had 4 deaths, so we're not even playing Giga clean, right? But yeah, the timer is really good in Sanguine Depths, is what I'm trying to say. And you can see, like, I didn't use anything on this pack, right? I didn't use Doomwinds, I didn't use Wolves, I didn't use Ascendance, because I'm holding it for the boss that is coming after this trash. I'm not using anything in this pack, and I'm doing 12k DPS constant. That's just Hailstorm. That's just Hailstorm right here. And I don't know how our tank is like doing 10k DPS, but you can see that this group, we got the deeps. We got the deeps, like, really, really good. Like, we got a lot of fucking damage. So now we pull that pack from in there onto the Sentinel. So we gotta make sure to dodge the frontal and stuff. I do use Doomwinds here because it's a rather huge pack, and Doomwinds will definitely be ready again for the boss fight. So I will definitely make sure to use it here. Doomwinds window is over, so we're gonna go back to chaining into Frost Shocks here to use Hailstorm as much as we can. And then it's basically always the same. Crash, into chain, into Frost Shock, into crash. Just circle them. Just always cycle them, basically, right? It's a perfect rotation. And yeah, you can see I barely use Flame Shock, because obviously in AoE situations, we almost never use Flame Shock anyways. And then on bosses, sometimes, I guess. But yeah, 21 minutes left. We go to the second boss. On this boss, of course we want to Bloodlust, we want to Wolves, Ascendance, Doomwinds. I'm waiting for the Castigate here, since my Doomwinds isn't ready anyways, and then the Ad is gonna spawn. You always want to focus the Ad. Ad focus, you want to dodge the orbs. And if someone gets hit by the orb, you want to decurse them as a shaman, right? Because you can remove curses. So we dodge that. Nani and Sheik get hit. I think I will decurse Sheik in a second, because Sheik is in his frenzy, and you won't let the druid decurse himself during the frenzy, because he's just doing his big damage right now. Like, you can see how Sheik is destroying this boss. The boss is already at like 25% HP. It's been like 40 seconds. So Sheik definitely going ham on this. Next ad, we don't have cooldowns for this ad, so we definitely have to hard focus it, everyone, and just killing it off while the boss is just ticking down. Like, this boss is really easy in fortified weeks, even though Grievous ticking really hard, but you can see Nami just pumping like over 6k HPS. So we can feel safe here. We know we're getting taken care of. You can see the Necrotic stacking up. It dropped because I was on the ad, but Necrotic definitely helps with my single target damage during Hailstorm. And we get it down. We have enough trash already, so we can go down into the third boss room already. 20 minutes left. Everything looking really good here, even though we had some fuck ups here and there. There's a little bit of miscommunication here, because we wanted to pull both sides. I didn't realize we were pulling both sides, so I dropped Doomwinds early here into a crash. Then I saw he was pulling both sides, so I'm missing out on a lot of damage here, because we had to group them up first, but it's fine. Still got a little bit of value out of the Doomwinds, even though I wasted it a tiny bit. But maybe it was even fine with the timing for pulling the boss in a second, because after this pack, obviously we're gonna pull the boss. We do have one Inspiring mob that we didn't pull into this trash, so we could interrupt the enemies. We're just gonna take the Inspired mob and pull it onto the boss, basically. So you can see the Oppressor walking around there. We're just gonna wait a second. We were just talking about like how we're gonna pull it in. And we decided to pull it in a couple of seconds after pulling the boss. Which is nice that we're talking a little bit here, so my Doomwinds has a little bit of time to, you know, come off cooldown. So yeah, right now you can see it down here, by the way. The Necrotic stacking up, very important. If you switch targets, you gotta make sure sometimes if you're fighting like 2 targets, to switch the target sometimes to get the Necrotic stack up on both. By the way, here I drop really low. I play Spirit Wolf in the keys, by the way. I want to get 3 orbs for the damage reduction, but because I only had 2 here, I stayed in Ghost Wolf, because Ghost Wolf stacks up a damage reduction, right? So with 2 orbs and Ghost Wolf, I was fine. But I generally want to get 3 orbs just to be safe and to save Nami some trouble with the healing. Sheik went down here, but we'll battle rest him, and it's fine. He didn't have cooldowns anyways. Like, we're not counting on Sheik's damage on this boss, because he completely destroyed the second boss, so he's not gonna have any damage here. I'm gonna take 3 orbs here, and I'm gonna stay in Ghost Wolf. You can see it. Wait, let me pause the video for a second. You can see it up here. I got 3 orbs. And this one right here, 20% damage reduction, 5% per stack from Spirit Wolf. Very strong talent. I would recommend you guys using that. Because Earth Shield is not my kind of thing. I like using Lightning Shield a lot more. And then just playing Spirit Wolf. I sprinted out of that one. It kind of clipped me at the end. I wasn't sure if I should decline and Ankh or if I should take the Battle Res. I decided to take the Battle Res here, which was probably a bad call actually, but it's fine, it's whatever. So yeah, now we don't have Battle Reses anymore, so we gotta make sure that we're actually, you know, focusing, not dying anymore. So I take 3 orbs here again. I'm pretty low, so I stay in Ghost Wolf and I use a health potion here, even though Nami topped me towards the end. I just wanted to make sure to not risk it. To not die there, obviously. So yeah, we play the phase safe. I got another Ascendance Doomwinds here to pump some single target damage. And you can see, even though I'm playing Hailstorm, my single target damage is so fine. By the way, this bleed down here is from a domination socket. I don't have the best raid gear yet. I wasn't too lucky. Let's just say I wasn't too lucky in like the first 2 IDs of heroic raiding. However, I got a helmet with a domination socket that makes it to where I do 1.5% more damage if my health is higher than 50% more than the target's health, basically. So yeah, that is pretty nice, even though it's not that much of a difference. We killed the 3rd boss here, and we are looking at killing the last lieutenant. So again, I think I will use Doomwinds into this lieutenant, maybe even Wolf's Doomwinds? Or is it only Doomwinds? Let's see what I end up doing. I even Wolf's Doomwinds this, okay. So yeah, as I said, you can always use Doomwinds on the lieutenants, always. At least from my experience, it's always gonna be fine. You will always have Doomwinds back for the next pack, because it takes time to kill the lieutenant. It takes time for your whole group to pick anima powers, and then you just have it ready for the next pack, so it's gonna be pretty easy. I also transfused this, and you can see 8k single target damage with Hailstorm. It's very fine. It's actually just very fine. It's not that much of a difference. And yeah, we're gonna kill it here. This is actually the one that in some keys, you can skip the Frost one. We learned that in a different key that I'm gonna do a commentary on as well. Where we skipped the Frost guy and didn't play it and basically got his debuff on the last boss. Because if you didn't know that, you don't have to kill all the lieutenants. You can also just, you can also skip them. But then on the last boss, you will have the debuffs of those lieutenants that you skipped, which that's obviously pretty shit, right? But the Frost one is kind of fine because it's only the slow. So we do this pull here. I got Doomwinds again. You can see I don't have any other cooldowns. I just have Doomwinds, and I still do a pretty big amount of damage, right? So now Doomwinds is over, and we go back to like Frost Shocking and shit to keep up the damage. Nanya's just destroying this pack, so it's fine. Sheik, again, as I said, doing less damage than the tank, because that's just how Venthyr Moonkin works. So, like on this pack, this is the perfect pack, which in a pack group, the Moonkin would have been flamed for this shit, right? And that's what I'm saying. Like, if you have the chance to play with friends, if there are some people in your guild, or whatever, that want to play keys with you, right? Hop into Discord, talk to them, play some keys together, and it's gonna be a lot more fun than playing with pucks. Even though it's gonna be a little bit easier to get into keys now that more people play Enhance, maybe the community perception will be a little bit better. But yeah, playing with friends, always more fun. So we have a double pack here, which you can see Sheik is going ham. And I'm popping my stuff late here, because my cooldowns weren't ready. I used it late, because it was a double pack, and I still get up to like 30k DPS. So always see what the situation is. Always see if it's worth using your cooldowns, if it's worth using all of your cooldowns. Maybe only Wolf's Doomwinds, maybe Ascendance Doomwinds. You always gotta get a feeling for when it's worth using your stuff, basically, right? The only thing that you don't want to do is don't sit on your cooldowns for too long, basically, right? Like, most of your cooldowns have a short duration. Doomwinds especially, never sit on Doomwinds. Ascendance, sometimes you can hold it if there's like a boss coming up and you definitely want Ascendance there. But since they added the initial damage to Ascendance in Shadowlands, it's actually very strong for AoE as well. There's one thing that you gotta watch out for doing cleave damage with Ascendance, which is, obviously if you crash, then your Storm Strike is gonna cleave, right? And if you are in Ascendance, then your Storm Strike transforms into Wind Strike, which is gonna give it a 40-yard range, right? And the thing is, those Wind Strikes can still cleave, but only if you're in melee range. I don't know why it is like that, but that's how it works. If you're at 40 yards range, even though you have the crash buff, your Wind Strikes won't cleave. If you're in a single target, they will. So, in melee range, sorry. So yeah, definitely keep that in mind if you want to get some cleave out of your Ascendance. And yeah, like look at this damage output. I think we played a double pack there again, and we still got 12.5 minutes left last hallway here. So we're just gonna finish those 2 Gargons, and then we're gonna get to the second to last hallway pack. And after the hallway, it's basically, as you know, it's gonna be 1 more pack and then the last boss. So we're looking very fine here with time, even though we had 6 deaths already, which is it's not like the cleanest key, right? But yeah, we're still looking very fine in terms of time. I think we could have even timed this on an 18 pretty easily. I feel like we did actually play it on an 18, but we kind of ripped it in the first hallway, which I said in the beginning. Like the first hallway is one of the hardest packs in this key. But yeah, because of all the traps and the frontals and shit, especially if you do triple pulls and there's so much going on, especially as a melee, you don't see anything. Straight up. The tank doesn't see anything, the melees don't see anything, so you need a lot of concentration there, and yeah, you have to focus to get that executed properly, basically. So yeah, we get the triple pack here. And you can see this tank damage. Like, I don't know what Danis is doing, but he's just pumping damage as well. It's actually insane. And it's just fun playing those keys with a pre-made. And everyone knows what you're doing. Because, like, you can see, the tank is pulling 10k DPS. Sheik, Nanya, and me, we know exactly who uses cooldowns when. We can call cooldowns in Discord, and then some other people can hold them when I use it, and they can use it when I hold it. You know, stuff like that. Nami is not only healing, Nami is also doing damage. Like, she's doing 2k DPS here while keeping us alive through the Grievous and shit. Like, everyone is you know, playing their part, and that's just it's just a lot of fun to play with pre-mates. And yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to playing more keys with them this season as well. Maybe this is the season where I try to push some higher keys as well. We will see about that. We will see how long the motivation for playing Mythic Plus will stay. But yeah, last pack before the last boss here. We did use Doomwinds here. This is only Doomwinds. This is no Wolves, this is no Ascendance, because I'm holding that for the last boss, obviously. And I'm still doing that much DPS. It's actually insane what Enhance can do when you play properly. And apparently also when you play Hailstorm. So yeah. Last boss, 10 minutes on the clock. This should be an easy in time, right? We use Bloodlust. We use Wolves. Why did I use Wolves? Actually, those Wolves were wasted. I should have waited for Doomwinds. I think I used Wolves because I didn't realize that my Doomwinds wasn't ready yet. But it's fine. It doesn't make that much of a difference. At least I held, what's it called? At least I held my Orc Racial for Ascendance. That's nice that I didn't use that with Wolves there. So we're gonna dodge that charge here. And now we're gonna Potion, we're gonna Ascendance, we're gonna Wind Strike, Wind Fury Totem, Wind Strike. Just gonna play our typical single target rotation. It's fortified, so the boss is not gonna take that long. You can see the Necrotic stacking up for more single target damage. Sheik is just going ham with his Frenzy on this boss, so this boss should definitely not be a big deal. Unfortunately, Nami and me, we both dodged to the same side here, so I get a double stack. And yeah, because we were dodging the mechanic and we were dodging to the same side for the charge, and then I got the double stack and died. But that's why we play Shaman, we got Ankh, right? So we're never really dead. So we just Ankh that and come back to life. And now we're pretty interested, obviously, in seeing the overall damage at the end of the dungeon, right? So we still need to get through 6% of boss HP, which that's not gonna take that long because Sheik is just pumping. And now that his cooldowns are over, Nanya and me are catching up as well because we're all doing pretty good damage. And then we're gonna see the overall of the dungeon. We're gonna see who did what, and then I'm also gonna show my breakdown because I think it's pretty interesting to see the combination of like Unruly Winds, Doom Winds, Chill to the Core, Hailstorm, both in one spec combined, which is a fun spec, by the way. If I haven't mentioned it like 20 times already in this key. And yeah, then we're gonna see what exactly the breakdown was. Obviously, Stormstrike is gonna be a little bit lower because we weren't playing Elemental Assault. Frost Shock's gonna be a little bit higher, or actually way higher than usually because we play Hailstorm. And yeah, we're just gonna see what it's gonna be. The boss dies here. Easy timed. We missed +2 by like 20 seconds because we had some deaths. But it's still very, very fine. I'm very happy. 9.5k, 9.2, 8.4. Even the tank doing 6.3. Like, what is 9.5k overall? Enhance is insane. What can I say? Like, what can I say? Enhance is insane. Like, let's be real, okay? Nanya trades me some legs. Also very nice. I appreciate that. Actually, no, it was Nami. Sorry, it wasn't Nanya. Nanya plays a Shaman as well, typically, so I got confused there. And there, wait, stop. We can see it. Wait, we go back a little bit. Let's see. Okay, this is the breakdown. You can see Wind Fury attack basically comes from Unruly Winds, Doom Winds, and playing it properly. Get the priorities down during your Doom Winds window, very important. Then you will have a lot of Wind Fury damage. Frost Shock, very nice, over 10% of my overall damage. That's Hailstorm, just straight up. Storm Strike a little bit lower because I didn't play Alley Assault. A lot of Crash, a lot of Chain, a lot of damage from that. Necrotic Wound, 3.7% of my damage, also very nice to increase my single target a little bit because I'm playing Hailstorm, as I said. By the way, you can also play some more Mastery. As I said, I didn't play a lot of Mastery. I basically played no Mastery at all. So if you play Mastery, maybe even double Champions brand, then your Frost Shock damage is gonna be a lot higher. Maybe I'm gonna try that in future keys. But yeah, it was a very clean key. It was a lot of fun to play. It was a lot of fun to commentate that for you guys, even though I had to record it twice because I'm an idiot and my mic was muted on the first try. There you go. I took another like 37 minutes to record that for you guys. And yeah, I appreciate you guys watching. Again, if you want to see me stream, if you want to see the stuff live, go to twitch.tv/waveswow, and maybe it's something for you. Leave me some feedbacks in the comment. Feedback in the comments, sorry. If you enjoyed watching, what you want to see me do next, what keys you want to see. If you want to see raid content as well, obviously I'm gonna upload the Mythic raid kills, that's for sure. But maybe you want to see commentaries of that as well. Just give me some feedback, I would highly appreciate that. And yeah, then I thank you guys very much for watching. I hope to see you guys in the next video or on the live stream. And with that being said, take care and stay healthy. And I will see you guys soon. Peace.